Um, so we're trying something new. Being that this is a new season, quote unquote, of Generation Dan. It's we've passed a year, 52 weeks in a year. So we're gonna try something new, and we're going to read. Dino, you have one, right?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
So this one is a little bit not risque. It's more so that let me just double check. I want to see this one is a good one.
So we're gonna read a. I think it's a post on r/relationships, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna read one of these, and then we're each gonna give our take on it. Now, normally, if Caleb's internet wasn't a piece of shit, he would be here, but
Yes, but
he disappeared, as you might have saw/heard. So
okay.
we're gonna do that, and then that's how we're gonna wrap up the show instead of having it be a separate segment. So
Yeah,
that's the new thing.
very exciting.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. But Paul, I got a good one for you, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay.
Okay.
So this is I'm calling it "Take on All the Responsibility." So here is sorry, I'll read it out for everyone. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Take on all the responsibility. The sequel to Take on Me that nobody wanted.
It's okay. So oh, is that it? Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong one. That was another week's. My bad. This one. Okay. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years. My girlfriend has a 14-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. We do not live together. Because of her daughter, I live in a house that I own, and she lives in an apartment that she rents. We were recently discussing marriage in depth. We talked about our expectations and what we want in our marriage. We agreed that her daughter and her would move into my house if we get married. She also brought up that her daughter would head off to college when she turns 18. I asked my girlfriend if she had any idea of how they would finance her daughter's education. Her answer shocked me. She straight up told me that she expects me to pay for her daughter's tuition if we get married because I'm well off financially. I asked her why she thinks I should pay for it, and she answered that when we get married, her kid is just as much my responsibility as hers. This totally threw me off. I straight up told her that is not what I want, and this is not going to happen. I told her that I do not have a problem taking care of things financially when it comes to expenses and bills for her and her daughter, but not that I would be paying for every big thing in her daughter's life. I asked her if she really expects that from me. I told her that we clearly have a different view on how our marriage would work, and that I need some time to think about our relationship. This totally caught me off guard, and has me second guessing this whole relationship. I have no problem paying the bills and living expenses for the both of them, but I'm definitely not going for every part of her daughter's life, like college. So the situation has made me realize that we're way different. We have a way different view of our relationship concerning her daughter. This has also made me even want to get a prenup to protect myself, if not to be treated as a parent whose financial responsibility of a daughter in case things don't work out. If she really expects to be easy like that, we might not be right for each other. How can I set these clear boundaries with my girlfriend? If she can't respect those, I'll have to end our relationship. So, yeah. Question is, how would you respond to that advice?
Well, there's one piece of information I think is vital, is the bio dad at all in this picture.
Sorry, your mic is getting weird.
Yeah.
Paul.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
No, it just sounds like like before it sounded fine, and now it sounds like you're across the room, but you haven't moved for whatever reason. Maybe it's like a mono stereo thing.
That's
Spectrum. Oh, okay. Yeah, Spectrum is terrible. Well, so you said is the bio dad in the picture?
Yeah.
No.
Because that's a tough call.
It's a very tough call.
And I'm glad that they're talking about it now, because that's a big issue. If he's close to the 14-year-old and they have 4 years to really build something, he may change his opinion about it. But they've only been seeing each other for 2 years. I think the wife coming forward and saying, quite frankly, yeah, I expected you to, is a big red flag, because if she's not coming forward with that now, what else do we not know? So, the nice thing is that there's no pressure. These two are adults. This child, she's not a child. She's a young adult at 14.
Yeah.
So she has a chance to really knuckle down and get a scholarship, and we wish her every success. In fact, when you're in the neighborhood, stop by and say hello.
That's pretty reasonable. So I was looking at this going like, that's insane. But at the same time, it's kind of like there's a lot of questions I have with it. Like, are they planning on having kids together as well? Or is like, hey, not having any more kids, this is it. And it's like, hey, if you don't live together because she has a daughter, then why is this a debate? Like, that's not, it seems like that's like that idea. I remember growing up, we dated for marriage, right? Like, that was the whole principle behind it, right? And I had a very religious background and so on and so forth. But that was those times, right? And people now just date for just to have fun, which, that's fine. But then don't assume any responsibility of anybody, right? Like, that is a you problem, not a me problem.
Well, it said they were dating for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if it's not supposed to be, they're not doing a fuck buddy thing, because A, he would have referred to her as such, and B, I feel like by nature of that, it just doesn't last for that long. Oh, Caleb's back. All right.
Whoa, look at us. I have defeated the overlords of Comcast in battle once and for all.
So we're doing the relationship advice thing, part of the show.
Excellent. The part of the show that I'm the least qualified to talk about.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Because it's long story short, it's a guy dating a woman who has a 14-year-old daughter, and they're thinking about getting married, and the girlfriend is saying that she expects the guy to pay for the daughter's college when she turns 18, and he's like, I don't know if I'm okay with that, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing.
And now he's like, wow, maybe I need a prenup to protect myself, which I'm like, yes, sir, you do. You absolutely do.
Okay. I will say, as a child of divorce, who something like this did happen to me. My parents got divorced when I was 10. My dad remarried. The wife was not in the guy's position where, like, she was the well-off one and he expected her to pay for college. It wasn't that, but it was still something where, like, the idea of how much support is the step parent supposed to give as a parent, and how much are they just, the husband / wife. And I think where my dad always said that my stepmom, like, really wanted to be, like, in our lives, and the actions that I saw as the kid in that situation was just not what it was, and that's fine. I had two loving parents, but the idea, like, she was kind of off doing her own thing, and we just lived in a house together half the week in my case. So I think if the guy, he doesn't really mention that she, like, how close he is to the kid also. It's mostly just between him and the girlfriend.
He does mention that that they don't live together specifically because she has a child. So the guy has his own house. She is renting with her daughter.
Yeah. So if that's the case, I can understand his, like, ambivalence, where, like, he doesn't consider himself close to his girlfriend's daughter. But at the same time, I think if you're going to be living together, and by very nature of getting married to this person, the kid comes with them. So, like it or not, you would have to have your stepdaughter in your life for, in perpetuity. Obviously, then move out at some point, except where, she's Gen Z, so gonna take a while probably. I think that some amount of financial support, and in the case of college, where we're told go to college, it'd just be a dick move not to in this case.
Listen, I'm not saying that that's not unreasonable. It's more so that this guy has no stake in the game, right? Like, he's setting himself up. He has his own future, his own thing. And he's like, listen, I don't mind paying the bills for them. That's fair. She can eat me out of house home. And you know what? It doesn't seem like he has an issue with the daughter staying with them. It's more so he's like, hey, listen, that's not my kid. I'm not. Oh, she wants to invent a new rocket ship. That's nice. Yeah, good luck. Have fun. That's not my problem. Like, you go do your thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is I was fortunate enough to have my education covered by my father, and that changed how I looked at things. Right? Like, for me, education was something you qualified for, and then you got it. Like, it wasn't like, there's a weird perception that people are like, well, you have to be educated. Be like, no, you can educate yourself, and especially now where literally everything is everywhere. Just you type in, I want to learn about glass blowing. Hey, no problem. There is an entire show about that.
Well, the issue also is this is not an issue of the stepdaughter, or this is an issue of the wife assuming that he's going to go ahead and pay for it, which if there's is the love for the ages, and let's go ahead and we're going to blend our family. Yes, we are. I would be so emotionally encouraged of you just go for it. Get every scholarship you can. Enjoy yourself. I'll be at every softball game for you, darling, but I'm not spending a nickel on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's like, if he was extremely affluent and like it wasn't even like he didn't care about the money, he'd be like, okay, sure. But it seems like, hey, he's played his card right. He's, taken the time, invested in himself, all those kind of good things that everyone says you should do. And she's like, no, my daughter is going to take that away from you. And good luck with your financial freedom there, sir. Like, no thanks. That seems like not something that was being offered with that ring. I don't know.
Yeah. And good to find out now. It's it's a sticky wicket for sure.
Yeah, it's better to get married when you have nothing versus to come into it with stuff and not have a prenup. Like, listen, if you have stuff, get a prenup. That's just reasonable.
I can't even tell you how many people I know, and in my little business that I run, how many people do not discuss the issue of money and or monogamy in a relationship, and then it skids over the guardrail and gets really messy.
Yeah, well, I've never skidded over the guardrail, but it sounds like a good time. Let's just.
I'll tell you about some skid marks.
Whoa!
That's what's up, my man. Listen, we're talking about serious stuff, so let me put on the freaking middle-aged man on Omegle about to show you his penis angle.
Whoa!
All right. So here's the deal. Here's how I feel about step kids and step parents, bro. I got them both. Well, actually, I don't have them both, but I know of the experience of one of them, and I have many other step parents. Yeah. And here's the deal. I never expected my stepdad to be the financial, my parents don't pay for my college or anything like that, but that's just mostly because we're poor, one. But two, it's I don't know, I got this covered, boys. Listen, I understand that me and my mom are a package deal. If you want LeBron, you got to draft LeBron's son. That's how it's going to go down. He's in the twilight of his career, and he just wants to play with his son. So you got to take them both, and I get it. One of them's probably going to be a little bit of a liability, but you get the other one. So I get it. I'm the part of the package deal that wasn't that great. And the thing is that my dad did a great job, and I think the correct way to approach it is kind of like what Paul said, which was just be there for them. Yeah. Be a positive influence in their life, but also just understand that, I'm not going to put you through college because you're not my kid, but I'm going to support you in every other way that I can.
Which is just as valuable, let's be honest, right? I think that at this point, knowledge-wise, we realize that, hey, having a supportive parent pays leaps and bounds in the future, right? That's a big thing, for everyone. And I think that's one of the most important things. So doing that in and of itself, you're like, hey man, that's some stand-up work. But now, actually, Caleb, here's a good point. Do you think that's more so also because you're a man, or?
That's an interesting point, and I wouldn't have experience of the antithesis of that for you. I only know because I'm a boy. But maybe if I was a really pretty little girl, I would be fucking at Harvard right now. I don't know. Who knows, Maybe my life would be a little bit different right now. I mean, maybe I'd be pre-law, blonde, looking like a whole snack.
You could be
freaking
legally
just ready to-
blonde. You
I could be legally blonde,
You could be legally
essentially.
Listen, hey, no man can say that they didn't want at some point in their life to be the legally blonde chick. Like that's going, hey, fancy and good fashion sense. That's a good combo. Very threatening too.
Absolutely. I just want to freaking litigate in a Prada bag. That's all I want in my life.
Yes.
Also, possible episode title: "Litigate in a Prada Bag." That's
Oh man.
I frequently say to people, I'm from Los Angeles.
What the fuck?
We don't care how you feel. We do care how you look.
Yeah, well, that my wife went on a work trip. So my wife designs outerwear right now. She's a fashion designer. And they had a trip. They went to LA, and I'm like, "How was it?" Because I've never been. And she was like, "It's a weird place. Just like everyone is put together, but everyone looks like they're also a murderer." I was like, "Really? Huh? That's a fair. I feel like I got one side of that really covered, but the other side,
Well, it's strange.
Real quick, we were talking. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Caleb.
I
Well,
was gonna
Nellie
say
and
real
I
quick,
were in Chicago, and we were walking down Michigan Avenue, and she stopped and she goes, "Look at everybody." And we stood there, and everyone on Michigan Avenue looked terrific because they were in suits. The women were in really, really attractive, like slack suits with an amazing handbag, and the guys had a nice briefcase. And she goes, "Wow, look." She goes, "We always think LA is so hip." I said, "Oh no. We get suspicious in LA. We got off the plane at LAX, and she goes, "It looks like people have just crawled through wreckage to get here." I said, "I know. In LA, we think cargo pants are, formal wear. But we even say that in show business. On the set, they'll go, the suits are on the set." So in Los Angeles, there's a weird tier about how people look. My grandmother used to say, "A nice little black dress and good manners will get you farther than a college degree."
I feel like if you put me in a nice little black dress, I don't think I'm getting very far.
No, but
I mean, listen,
you would be surprised. Sir.
I just put on a black dress the other night, and Sugar Daddy came through. Boy.
There it is.
Look at us go. We live in large. We paid
Well
for
done, Caleb.
content, baby. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
He held up a
proud of
PS5,
you.
listeners.
Yeah, game show gift items, Caleb. Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
Feel like Caleb just won tic-tac-toe. That's fantastic.
I mean, I was definitely doing some dicing with crosses and holes. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa!
Whoa! Watch out, everybody! Sponsored by Sony. Shout out to Sony Entertainment Company.
Yeah, I think we should definitely hashtag Sony in this episode.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, why not? I do gotta get a screenshot of Caleb with the PS5 just for the
and just say Sony, thanks for the free PS5, and just let's.
Thanks for the free PS5. I only had to show you like 3/4 of my tank, which is awesome. Thank you, Sony.
Wow.
Shout out to the executives at Sony of America.
Caleb's just dropping episode titles like it's going out of style. This is Oh my god. All right. Paul, thank you for coming on Generation Dan.